Nice. Okay, so if we're all ready, like I said, Betty, anytime you want to jump in. Danny, you ready? Welcome to the program. I have 4 fantastic guests in the studio. We are launching a campaign for a very good cause. As everyone knows, the Relay for Life of Mason County is coming up May 21st, 1 to 10 at the U.S. Bank parking lot downtown, sponsored by Meadowview Regional Medical Center. Very excited about that. Well, one of the components of the Relay for Life this year, the theme, by the way, is Festival of Hope. And, well, that's what we're working on. There is a campaign going on. It's called Power in Purple. And the 4 of us are, and let me introduce our guests. We've got Maysville Mayor David Cartmell, Fire Chief Kevin Doyle. Wow, what do I even say? I mean, instructor, just force of nature, Tina Curtis, and last and least, myself. And we are taking part in a program called Power in Purple. Tina, you were the first one to really get your handle around it. Would you explain exactly what that is? And by the way, welcome back to the airwaves.
Thank you very much. So, Power in Purple, when I was invited to take a look at Power in Purple and be a part of it, because I had spent so many years with Relay for Life and being a volunteer with Relay. For me, it was the perfect segue to be able to become more involved in what we're doing here in Mason County. And so Power in Purple is just a campaign where the 4 of us decided to step forward and really be able to give the ACS and also the American Cancer Society and also Relay for Life in Mason County a little bit of an extra boost. And we have agreed to wear purple. I've raided everybody's closets that I can, and we are wearing purple for 30 days. And along with that, we are going to do some fundraising to help out Relay for Life of Mason County.
And when we're talking fundraising, we are talking doing it on the air, over the social media, through the newspaper. For anyone who's not sitting here, Betty Cotant and Cody are right here behind us taking pictures and stuff for a newspaper article. Ben Smith is videotaping this so we can have our campaigns on the air. This is going to be a full-on campaign. Mayor, you are no stranger to campaigns. What is your strategy for winning this campaign?
My strategy is to turn this into another Maysville festival. We're used to putting them on, and I don't mind asking people to give because it's the right thing to do. It touches us all, and truthfully, I live with it every day with employees and family members. So it's a very special appeal for me.
Chief, we always talk about cancer affects everybody. Would you mind telling us, if you're comfortable telling us on the air, how has cancer affected you?
Well, honestly, until just a few years back, I hadn't had a personal experience, obviously, with cancer or any close family member. But what's interesting about the Relay for Life for me is that in 2000 and 2001, my mother was actually the chairman for the Relay for Life in Bracken County. So I have a little bit of background as far as how it works and where the money goes. But it wasn't until just a few years ago that she was actually diagnosed with breast cancer. And I know that she is very vocal about the fact that it's because of events like the Relay for Life that the American Cancer Society is able to fund the research needed to make that cancer go away for individuals like her. And her cancer is gone at this point, and it's because of that personal relationship that I have with such a disease that I'm very thankful that we have events like this.
I know personally, my father passed away after a year of just wasting away because of cancer. My mother, she passed away in June 7th, 2 years from June. And she died, but she was a 30-year cancer survivor. So, by God, she might have passed away, but it wasn't cancer that did it. And it was because of the strides, the amazing strides that have happened over the past 30 years since 1985, thanks to the money that has helped been raised, starting with Gordy Klatt doing his one walk, and how Relay has really, really grown. Tina, Can you tell us your story?
I'm certainly going to try, Robert.
Okay.
You know, I got involved in relay several years ago, and I can't even, I think it was 2001, I'm not sure. But, you know, it was just simply because of one more great person in Mason County saying, hey, you know, I think you would be great to learn a little bit about Relay for Life and get involved. So I got involved, and it was just a wonderful event. Year after year, we did everything from chairing to being on teams to serving on committees, and it is such a fulfilling area to be involved in. And you know, year after year you just want to come back, and year after year I wanted to come back because so many people that I knew, whether it be my grandparents, my friends, my friends' friends, family, it seemed like there was always somebody. And truly I didn't understand what any of that meant until April the 13th, 2015, when our daughter, Mary Jo, called, and she had taken our grandson, who was 2 at the time, to the doctor, and Dr. Coleman said, we have some issues going on with blood. Let's just check it out. And he is our rock star. He sent Jack and Mom and Dad to Children's Hospital. And so they did everything, did all the tests, and then on the 13th of April, we got the call saying that Jack had leukemia. And a couple days later, we got another call. Mom and Dad were in the room with Jack, and the doctor came in and said he has a Philadelphia chromosome, which will make it a little bit more difficult to treat, but we will be as aggressive as we possibly can. And so fascinatingly, that's a year later. Jack is now in maintenance, and he will take daily chemo until the middle of 2017. And they are finally home. We had a wonderful family up there that donated, and our best friends had an apartment in Fort Thomas and allowed them to live there for a year. So they have split their time. And, you know, I just don't think I really realized. And just 6 months later, exactly 6 months later, on October 13th, my mom's 76th birthday, we got the diagnosis, and she had lung cancer. And so my daughter told Mom, she said, now listen, Mama, she said, you cannot be climbing up in that bed with Jack. We know. See, now you guys are together. So she is doing wonderful. We are so blessed to have the kind of care that we have here in Maysville, Kentucky, because, you know, she doesn't have to travel. She had her radiation here, and she has her chemo here. We just took her yesterday. She had another chemo, and it is amazing the care that we have. But the care is just not good enough. We've got to kick cancer, and that's why I'm here.
And again, Mayor, talking about it, you're on the street all the time. You know, you've got your family. I know you've got a large family. Your constituents, your friends. We're all friends here in town. Talk about how cancer's affected you.
Well, it's just something that you must be aware of if you live in this valley. And, I really never thought that much about cancer until I was 22. And I was working at the Banner Warehouse, and our bookkeeper became terminally ill, Mrs. Hitt. And I used to take Mrs. Hitt down to Cincinnati for chemotherapy. And I mean, it just, all of a sudden you learn. You learn what's going on. And it touches you. And then I like to think I kind of took a hiatus for maybe 20 years. And then all of a sudden it started touching people my age, and so on. But, what is amazing to me is the success they've had with these, the genetic markers and genomes, all the different therapies, and how they can identify all different kinds of cancers and which specific treatment. So, I mean, I think it gives us a lot of hope and a lot of optimism. And of course, in my extended family, there is cancer, and I don't think where there ever had been before, if you know what I mean. So, I mean, a lot of it, I'm sure, is environmental. So it's just something we owe it to everyone to be alert, be safe, and keep our surroundings, as pristine as we can.
The only reason that I got involved in relay was Patty North asked me. I had no idea that there was such a thing as Relay. Didn't know it even existed. And a lot of time for volunteering, there are so many people in town who are, so generous and ready to give and just don't know about it, and all you have to do is ask.
Patty was also the person that contacted me, and you're right. Sometimes we don't want to make that ask, but it is so important to be able to do that. And I will tell you, and with your mom, any of us that have experienced it know that there's that personal aspect of the care that you need for any family member or friend going through cancer. But the bottom line is research, raising money for research, and really that's the bottom line. That's why we're here, because not only does ACS focus on adult cancer. Alex Carson just sent me some information about strides that they're making in childhood cancer, which obviously is near and dear to my heart, near and dear than I ever thought it would be. So, that's the ultimate goal. Yes, we're making great strides. We have wonderful health care. But as David said, keeping it as pristine as possible, and the way to do that is to find a way to get rid of it.
In my first year or second year with Relay, Betty Gatant was co-chair, and we did, anything that we did, the ledger would be sitting there, and we'd sit there, and do interviews with these different people. And Betty, you remember talking to Dr. Keith Diamond.
I do.
A really innovative doctor in his field, and just looking for out-of-the-box ways to try to cure cancer, try to find that solution. And that's where the Relay dollars go for. We keep saying, whenever you talk about any type of charitable contribution, people say, well, is it staying in town? Is it being spent local? And the money that is in Relay that you donate, no, it does not.
Isn't that great?
It does not stay local. It goes out, it is working on research, but then the benefits come back 1,000-fold. Do you want to talk about some of the programs? Because like we keep saying, cancer is not a death sentence. And while you are going through the chemotherapy, radiation, you're still living your life. And Relay has so many programs that are available here, that are available free, that people need to know about and to take advantage of. We'll start off with the phone number, 1-800-ACS-2345. A toll-free number, man, 24/7. If you want to know any question about cancer, whether you have cancer yourself, a loved one, if you just want to talk, they are there 24/7, manning that phone, just to be there for you.
Another is the Look Good, Feel Better program, and much of that. Anyone familiar with Cancer Fighters United, you know that it is a separate entity from the American Cancer Society, but they work together.
Right.
And it is absolutely amazing what they do. We had the opportunity, I took Mom out, and we met and with a lady there that was able to, that helped us with some things to help Mom feel better about what she was going through. And that means so much, because not only do you have that face-to-face person who understands what you're going through. I mean, she understood so much more and could talk to Mom about the situation much better than I could. And it was amazing to be able to see Mom become relaxed in that environment.
And how you feel is a large part of recovery, and how you respond. And Look Good, Feel Better is great. I know Patty with Lasting Impressions has done it. A lot of our different boutiques have gone around, and basically what it is, because of chemotherapy, a lot of times you lose your hair. They make wigs available, scarves, makeup, all free for anyone who needs it. And Janie Horde with Cancer Fighters United getting that resource, the Cancer Resource Center, set up in Mason County. That, God, talk about a legacy.
Mm-hmm. We are definitely blessed in this area to be such a small town, And I mean, 10,000, I guess we're not that small, but really to have what we have, to be able to say that we have the Cancer Treatment Center for radiation, to be able to say that we are able to provide chemotherapy to our patients and they do not have to drive to Cincinnati. I'm telling you, that's a big deal.
Yeah, and you want more examples. Road to recovery. If you cannot make it to your treatment, if it's out of town, they will take you. They will either give you the gas money so you can make it, or provide somebody to take you to and from your sessions. I mean, that's huge as well. Hope Lodge. How on earth can you even describe Hope Lodge in Lexington and Cincinnati? Thanks to your Relay dollars, there are facilities, and if you have to stay out of town, your family can stay there as long as you need to while you are being treated, again, at no charge. And those facilities are amazing.
All of those great reasons why we're here doing what we're doing, Robert.
So, yeah, it's not just, I mean, obviously, we want to come to the time where we're not meeting here. I really like you guys, but, this is not how I want us to get together. I would much rather be over a cup of coffee or something just to talk about anything other than cancer.
I just think that that people need to know what is available here, and I think part of this thing is to get people acclimated to what we have here. It's like the city has a wheelchair accessible van, and believe me, it's on the road. It's on the road 8 hours a day. Taking people to dialysis, to whatever is needed, and it's just and I have to credit David Hord. David Hord kind of dropped the dime on me when he put my name into this. And, David, he has lived and breathed it, and
Right.
he does so much. He knows the people, and he stays in contact with them. And he's a great resource person.
He absolutely is.
Yeah.
He was actually the person that I was told to contact, and he for Cancer Fighters United, and he really did take care of business. And the other that we often don't think about are our local people that we have: Jessica Moses and Alex Carson. If those are names that are not familiar, or you have heard of them, read them, heard them, they are our resources through the American Cancer Society, so that we can put on events like Relay for Life 2016. And it's amazing how responsive they are when we have questions.
And I'll be honest, I have made it no secret to anybody when I talk about Relay that I will use anybody and anything for whatever exploitative reason I can, if it is going to raise a dime to help get rid of cancer. When my mom was going through one of her cancer treatments, that was back when Betty and Jeff still had the beat. They were kind enough to do a feature story on my mom and I, and of course what we did while she was going through her chemo, and this just,
It is tough. It doesn't ever get any easier. That's why it's important that we understand. I don't want Jack's children, I don't want Mary Kate and Easton's children to have to go through this. And so we get out there, we put ourselves out there, and we do what we do. And that's sometimes it's tough, but it's making the ask. I don't care if it's a yard sale, or I don't care if it's calling up all your friends and asking for $10 each. And I'm going to tell you right now, I really want to win, folks. So if you want to log on to Relay for Life and find the Power in Purple page, I mean, not that I got the jump on them or anything,
But she did.
But hey, it's the money will go to a great cause. And like we said, if we can figure out a way to eradicate cancer, what can we ask for?
And that's what I told Mom. I said, you're there, bald as a cue ball. I am going to exploit you as much as possible. She's like, oh, son.
And he did.
And I did. And she was fine with that, because if it wasn't for an early diagnosis, she would have died of cancer as well.
Well, I think what's most important here, if you think back about everything that each of us have said so far, everything comes back to our small community.
Yeah.
Tina talked about how we're a relatively small town. We've all had loved ones or people that we're close to that have been affected by cancer. Mayor talked about keeping our community clean and how that makes a difference. one thing that I think we really need to stress, and it's a point that Robert already made, and that is that we depend on these funds for research that benefits our community. Does it stay local? Absolutely not. But can you imagine how little research and how little amount of resources that we would have if we only had the funding that was raised in this community? Okay, so it's a much bigger project than that. Even though we're a small community, it takes all of us to raise the money needed to continue with these programs. Just think about little Jack. How old is he again?
3 now.
He's 3. Can you imagine if a 3-year-old had been diagnosed with leukemia 30 years ago and what
Right.
the outcome may have been?
Yeah.
It does make a difference, and as a small community, we all have to contribute.
That's it. How big the strides have been just over. I mean, from the time that my dad died to my mom passing away but surviving cancer, these strides have been huge, and that's only because of your generosity and your dollars. I'll be honest. You can give Tina every vote that you want. Just give me the money. That's all I'm asking for.
Tina's going down. I'm gonna. We can all repurpose our money from somewhere, and this is an election year, and I want to take any money that I was going to donate to any campaign, and I'm going to give it to Relay.
I don't know,
yeah.
David. I could be a pretty tough candidate. So
You know, when I was first asked, I was kind of hesitant as to whether or not I wanted to participate, but then I found out the mayor signed up, so I knew that I could beat him. So
See, and I'll also
My reputation precedes me.
See, all I heard was, well, you know, Tina's running. I said, okay, my support goes with Tina. That's fine. But the thing about this community, and guys and gals, if you want to make this a drinking game, that's fine. Every time that I say the great thing about this community is everyone gives and gives and gives and gives until they do not have anything else, and then they give more.
it's true.
And we see it every year with Relay for Life.
And you know, I have to thank, you know, I walked in the Bank of Maysville last week, and they've got all their baked goods out along the front.
yeah.
And I mean, I know everybody does it, but I think it's so nice when you know, some of the big players come down on that level and raise money.
Well, Mary, you say that, but
Yeah.
you know, you think about they have continued every year, and I mean, you
Right.
know, to hold on to a Relay for Life team that many years is a really big deal. And any of us that have been involved in Relay know that a lot of times what will happen is we'll come out and we'll have these big goals and we'll work like crazy. And I'll tell you what, we work ourselves right out of a team because we do all of that hard work, and then we're tired and we say, man, that was a lot of work. We don't know if we want to do that. Well, you know what? The Bank of Maysville has been consistent. They've been consistent in the money that they raise. They are consistent in the activities that they do. They know all they have to do is throw all that food out on the table, and they're going to be letting WFTM know to tell people, hey, the food's all sold, and we've raised our money for Relay.
And the college is the exact same way. And I want to talk about teams right now because there's still time to form teams. And all you have to do is go to relayforlife.org/MasonKY. That's how you find out how to set up the team. There is no wrong way to make money for Relay unless it's illegal, in which case it's wrong, bad, bad, bad. But look at the college. Pretty much everything the college does is in-house. Talk about all of the fundraisers that you guys have.
We do a lot of food. What's that say about us? I'll tell you, it is not, there will be, we do everything from a Thanksgiving dinner to a Christmas dinner. All we have to do is say we're going to make food and throw it out there to people, and they start bringing their money and saying, hey, mark me down. So we've done everything. We've done a cupcake bar, once again, keeping the theme of food, putting that out there. We have, there have just been different activities that we've done that have been right there within the college and on the Maysville campus, and that's a big deal.
And then there was one year where you had a group that was out Christmas caroling and just decided, well, we're Christmas caroling, let's go ahead and make a Relay fundraiser out of it. And that first year, just out of that idea, on the fly, made $400 just from going around Christmas caroling.
I did that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's
You
just
rode the trolley around.
Yes.
Yeah.
exactly. So there, I mean, there's
But I'll tell you, Robert,
Yeah.
I've got a secret weapon. You know, we all know that Mike Denham is retiring, and I'm going to ask him to help me out a little bit.
You mean my very good friend, Mike Down?
My very dear friend that was a horse trader with my grandfather. Is that what you mean?
fire department.
So basically what we're saying is, Mike, break out the checkbook. So if anyone, as we're wrapping this up, have we covered everything?
I do
Tina.
think we have, but I want to mention, and I know you've already
Please do.
talked with Carrie and also her co-chair.
Yeah, with Stephen Teagarden.
That's right. But I do want to encourage you to please make plans to come out. You know, Relay for Life has changed something that we didn't know if we would ever see, because and it made perfect sense to me that the event was overnight, because cancer never sleeps, and I completely respect that, but I really like the new way that they've got
Doing
it
it
set
during the
up.
day is great.
That's right. May 21st, 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. will be at the U.S. Bank parking lot, and there will be teams there who will still be trying to raise a little bit of money to reach their goals, and so it's a great time to come down and get to visit and get to enjoy the camaraderie with people. And also, I'll tell you, when they do the names at night, and also when they recognize the cancer survivors, that's a pretty big deal. Probably going to be a bigger deal to me this year, but it is a very big deal. So we encourage you, if the only way you can support the American Cancer Society Relay for Life of Mason County is to come to the relay, come to the relay. We want to see you.
It is. It's a time. It's a time of celebration. It really is. A time of celebration and remembrance. It is not. I had no idea what the relay was. Everybody described it to me up to the time that the relay happened, and I still didn't know until relay happened. And just to be there for the Survivors Lab, for the Luminaria. There's going to be some fantastic music, great bands there. Beulah Land Boogie Band is going to be there. I've heard them, got their CD. They are great, and a lot of other fantastic local talent. So many things that are going to go on. So go down, enjoy yourself, bring your money. But right now, there is a campaign going on. And given the toxicity of the current national campaign, this is one you can actually throw your support behind without being catcalled. And also, you know that every cent that you spend is going for the right reason. And it's going to be used locally.
That's right.
So, anyone want to give one last campaign pitch as we go around the table? Mayor, go ahead and give us your stump.
I think everybody knows the task ahead, and I think, Robert, you've done a good job getting it out, and now let's just go to work.
Kevin?
You know, Robert, I'd just like to say that by representing the fire department, I think that we've got a good jump on our funds and how we are going to raise money. But I just want to throw in there that the day of the relay that we are going to be setting up our Junior Firefighter Challenge.
Oh, great.
So any of the youngsters that have any interest in firefighting can come down, and we'll be raising money by charging a cost for participating in that challenge. And I think that'll be a fun time for all the kids. In the meantime, remember your fire chief when you go online to support this power.
Tina, your pitch.
I am really pleased to be able to represent Maysville Community and Technical College. You know, I've just celebrated 20 years there, and I'm very happy. Sadly, I've got many friends and students and that have also fought this fight, and so I'm so pleased to be able to represent them. And I'm going to tell you, cancer sucks. So we are here to kick its butt.
Very well said. I am doing it for Mom because she had cancer, but she survived it. Cancer is not a death sentence. And I'm looking forward to the day when we are just getting together to have a cookout instead of even mentioning the C word. And that's where the money is going. It doesn't matter who you vote for, because in the end, everybody's going to win. Tina, one more time. How do you vote for all of us? And of course, by vote, we mean cough up the dough, the long green, the moolah, the cabbage, the bread.
I have started sharing the page on Facebook, so I've had it out there on social media, but you can go to the relayforlife.org/MasonKY, and there is a link there for Power in Purple, and you can find all four of us there. And
my picture's horrible, by the way. Everybody else looks so nice and wholesome. I look like Uncle Fester. Well, I can't use that anymore, though. Uncle Fester is so dated.
That's
I
right.
was teaching a class, and I said, Uncle Fester. They go, what? You look like Gru from Despicable Me.
Yeah.
So
Right.
click. It doesn't matter where you click, because if you donate, we'll all four be winners.
Very well said. Tina, Chief, Mayor, thank you very much. Best of luck in the campaign. Again, no matter who wins, everybody wins.